Hey guys, the video that you're about to watch was filmed yesterday, Monday, February 3rd, 2025. It was done in the morning. And as you can tell by the title, it has to do with tariffs. Well, as the day progressed, there were some changes that occurred. And apparently some of the tariffs are not going to be put into force as was originally intended. So that kind of changes up the subject of the video. Although in truth, what I have to say in this video is still going to apply. And it's really intended to help you prepare for the potential for tariffs that may be coming and how that may affect either your business of building or repairing guitars. And for those of you who just do it as a hobby, it might affect how you proceed with any plans that you may have to build or repair guitars in the future. So I'm going to leave the video intact, but just be aware it's a fluid situation that appears to be changing on a almost hourly basis. So with that, let's jump into the video and get started. Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, I'll have earned the honor and privilege of your subscription. Okay, so in today's video, I want to talk about something that is about to occur that's going to shake things up a bit. Now, I am, for the most part, speaking to my United States of America viewers. If you live here in the United States of America, this really will apply to you now. However, what's about to happen here is likely going to spread globally, and it's going to affect everybody. So now that I've got your attention, I have you all freaked out. This has to do with the fact that at midnight, today is Monday, February 3rd, 2025. But at midnight tonight, the U.S. is going to enforce tariffs that will be applied to products imported into the United States from Canada, Mexico, and China. Now, I've already done this to products coming in from Colombia, and it's clear that the current administration plans to use tariffs as a way to punish other countries for abusing their relationship with the United States. So it's likely that we're going to see tariffs occurring elsewhere. That's why it could all spread. But for the time being, this is mainly going to affect those of us living in the United States. Now, what does this have to do with building guitars or repairing guitars? Well, obviously, all the tools, the parts and materials that we use are coming in from those countries. We're importing those things. So all those tools, parts, and materials are about to get more expensive. How expensive? Who knows? The tariffs that are being applied to China are 10%, which is on top of tariffs that already exist. The tariffs that are being applied to Canada and Mexico are 25%, as are the tariffs in Colombia. So will that raise the prices either 10% or 25%? It's really hard to say. It's impossible to predict it. One thing I know from my 61 years of living on this planet is that when you give a business an excuse to raise their prices, they will. And they will push it as far as they can go. In fact, they'll go beyond what they think is fair just to see what'll happen and then pull back if necessary. But everyone's going to raise prices. Everybody will. Even products that aren't subject to the tariff, those prices are going to be raised because those businesses that sell those products now have the excuse to raise the prices. So all the tools, the parts and materials, they're all going to go up in price, which means if you're in business of building or repairing guitars, you're going to have to reconsider your pricing in order to account for that rise in prices. Now, this also means, interestingly enough, and this is purely speculative, I'm not an expert in this, but I think it's sort of a common sense approach to what might happen. If they raise the prices of all these products coming in from these countries, that's also going to include the super cheap guitars coming out of China. So right now you can go on to Amazon and you can find those like $99 guitar packages that include an electric guitar, a gig bag, an amplifier, strap, picks, and all this stuff for 99 bucks, which is a price that no American luthier can compete with. The only way an American luthier could compete with those prices is if they take their designs and offshore them to China. But if they're going to raise the price of all that, it's not going to matter. So it's possible we may see a serious dent in the prices and availability of these cheap Chinese guitars, which could benefit small shop luthiers like me and like some of you who are trying to make quality instruments here in the United States and selling them at a reasonable price so that we can continue to realize this dream of building guitars, but without having to compete with companies overseas that are undercutting our costs to the point where we can't afford them. That's my one hope for all of this. Whether that's actually going to happen, I'm not sure. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video or any of the videos that I produce on my Highline Guitars YouTube channel, I would appreciate it if you might consider helping to support my channel. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can click the subscribe button down below. You can also click the join or the subscribe plus button. And when you do that, you can become a member of the channel. And when you're a member, you're going to have access to my members only videos, which are versions of all the videos that I make that contain a lot more information and detail than what I normally include in the videos that the general public gets to watch. Also, you can visit my eGuitar Plans website or my Highline Guitars merch store, and any purchase you make there is going to help support the channel so I can keep making these videos and sharing my knowledge and experience with you. And then, of course, if you want to keep it simple, you can click the thanks button down below and leave a small tip in the amount that you think is fair. And of course, at the very least, if you'd like to help support this channel and not spend any money at all, please consider clicking that thumbs up button down below. Now let's get back to the video. In preparing this video, I was trying to do some research on this whole effect of tariffs and why they're being put into place. And what I found was, and this doesn't surprise me at all, if you ask 5 people, you're going to get 5 different opinions. There doesn't seem to be a consistent consensus of why these tariffs are being put into place. On one hand, the administration is saying it's punishment for the fentanyl crisis that's occurring here in the United States, as well as the open border policies that have been in place. But then they're also saying it's an effort to get U.S. companies to bring their manufacturing back into the United States. Will all of this work? I have no idea. All I know is the prices are going to go up. And on top of the fact that we've been paying inflationary prices on groceries, gas, clothing, and just about everything else in this country, and this is something that's happened globally. This isn't just something that was relegated to the United States. It's happening everywhere. Everyone in the world is experiencing these incredible inflationary prices, and that was due primarily to the issues with distribution during the COVID pandemic that linger to this day. And as I've often said in the past to friends and family, when prices go up, they never come down. They just don't. It just never happens. The only time that you have deflation is when you fall into a deep recession or a depression. And of course, we don't want that, because even though prices come down, nobody's working. Nobody has any money to buy those cheaper prices or cheaper products. So I think what may happen is these prices are going to go up. And because Americans and people globally are still struggling to deal with the prices of inflation, people are going to have to make some very serious decisions about what they're willing to spend their money on. And because food, clothing, and shelter is always going to be the priority, buying, building, and repairing guitars is not. It is not a necessity. Now, I know some folks have argued that with me in the past, that building and playing guitars is a necessity because it improves happiness, which is an issue with mental health. And I won't argue with that because I totally agree with it. But the bottom line is you've got to eat and you've got to have clothing and shelter to survive. Without those, you're not going to live. Without having a guitar, you're going to continue to live. So that's just the unfortunate, painful reality of it. So what I would recommend is if you're watching this video and you're thinking about your business or going into business building guitars or repairing guitars, and maybe you're thinking about making some tool purchases, something that's kind of in the back of your mind, you might want to pull the trigger sooner rather than later, because I think we're going to see these prices going up within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then beyond that, who knows what's going to happen. In fact, I'm not 100% convinced that these tariffs will actually go into effect. It may just be a negotiation ploy. Who knows? But we've got to plan ahead. And I would encourage you to consider that. I went out a couple weeks ago when I knew that this was coming, and I purchased a whole mess of tools off AliExpress. And I plan to do some reviews of these tools in the coming weeks. But I went ahead and purchased a bunch of them because I'm concerned that those prices are going to start to tick up, and they could tick up pretty fast. And I wanted to make sure I had them now rather than 6 months from now thinking, oh, I should have bought those before the tariffs went into effect because they were so much cheaper. So I've gone and done it. Now, of course, there's a lot of other things that I would like to buy as well, but I have to pace myself because I can't afford to buy everything. That's part of the reason why I always ask for your help to support the channel so that I can purchase these things. That's what helped to purchase these. Nobody's giving me any of these tools. I have to buy these with my own money. That's my policy. If I'm going to review a tool or a product, I want to make sure I paid for it with my money so that my review is real and fair and honest. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video and got something out of it. And I hope that it will encourage you to give some thought to how you plan to move forward in a world that may be fighting a new kind of war, a trade war. At any rate, if you did, give it a thumbs up, visit eGuitarPlans.com, visit Highline Guitars merch store, click the thanks button, leave a tip in the amount that you think is fair, click the join or the subscribe plus button down below, join the channel, become a member. And until the next video, as always, take care, stay safe, and I hope you'll be back for more of my guitar building videos.